guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Well, big news for Central Florida, specifically Osceola County, happened this morning. On the top left, that is now former Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. He was a part of a months-long, and I'm hearing even a year or more long actually, investigation by the FDLE and other federal entities regarding racketeering. And he is not the only one that's in, behind bars tonight, but he is the most notable. And the gentleman to your right, well, he was just appointed the, at least for the moment, he is the current Osceola County interim sheriff. I'm going to go through WFTV Channel 9's coverage through it because they were the first to break it here. I saw it first this morning. It was about 11:30-ish this morning. And the rest of the news stations, which I do appreciate them all, but WFTV 9, well, they broke the story first. So, Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez, he was arrested on federal racketeering charges Thursday morning. Now, there is more to this. The exact nature of the charge has not been released. According to what we're hearing, it has to do with gambling, among other bribery, amongst other things. So it's a massive illegal gambling operation. Say that 5 times fast. So Governor Ron DeSantis, he immediately, and there was a tweet about it, post this morning, he immediately suspended former Sheriff Lopez, and he appointed Florida Highway Patrol Region Chief Christopher Blackman to be the interim sheriff. So that is the gentleman to your right. And I will go over a bit about him as well. Of course, the big news is Marcos Lopez. And as Channel 9 has gone into, they've done some massive research today, as well as the other local news stations here. This is not Lopez's first time dealing with legal issues. The biggest one that we know was that when he accidentally, remember that, in 2024, when he accidentally included a photo of the deceased Madeline Soto in a group of photo slide photos on Instagram, where it was talking about an elderly senior event, and he later decided to backpedal on his story, and I cover that here on the channel, so I will link to that video. Because of his dishonesty, he was added to the state's Brady list. Now, this, of course, is the list of law enforcement officers who are considered unreliable or they have questionable credibility. And let me tell you, Marcos Lopez already had that going for him. And I think it happened well before that, but that's one of the most notable for the area. Now, remember, he was a part of an internal investigation by the state's attorney's office after a radio interview, that was WDBO, that Lopez gave after he posted the photo on Instagram that appeared to show Madeline Soto's remains in March 2024. He told the radio station host that it was not Madeline in the photo. So, again, he is not exactly the most honest guy. And I gotta tell you, if you're going to have a sheriff of your county, you need to be an honest person. And I already had suspicions about him. I never thought it was anything more than he was a narcissistic gentleman. And he liked to have his photo taken because, let's be honest, if you look at all their photo ops, he loved the camera, folks. Although he didn't seem to love the camera for his mugshot this morning, did he? So let me go through. WFTV did a very good video. I do have to pause it, as I go through it for fair use. But very interesting things coming out. I haven't seen the probable cause or anything yet, but as soon as I do, I'm definitely going to cover it here.
Tonight on Eyewitness News at 6, Only Nine investigates Shannon Butler has the sources to bring the big story of the arrest of Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez after years of digging and asking the right questions.
Marcos Lopez is in federal custody.
And we were the first to show you the moment he was taken into custody in his sheriff's uniform, an arrest that took him by surprise.
This will mean that a new sheriff will need to be appointed.
And right now at 6, we have a team of reporters to break down the charges, his troubled past, who will take over his department, and what's next in his case. Our live team coverage starts now. Only we were there as it all unfolded here in Orlando early this morning, and we've been breaking new developments ever since. Good evening. I'm Martha Sigalski.
I'm Darlene Jones. The sheriff showed up there at a Homeland Security investigation office, only to be handcuffed moments later. There it is, on charges of conspiracy to commit racketeering and a massive multi-million-dollar gambling ring. Here you see on the left his mugshot taken as he was booked into the Lake County Jail, and video there on the right of his arrest. We have a team of reporters across Central Florida tonight to bring you every angle of this major story, from what's happening now to what's next. We start with Channel 9's investigative reporter Shannon Butler live at that federal building in Orlando.
Like I said, these guys broke the story, and Shannon Butler, you guys probably remember her. She has been a part of the major coverage of the Madeline Soto case. And again, it sounds like he was called to a meeting or some sort of something at the Homeland Security building, and they arrested his ass.
Shannon, you were the first to break details here on air and online, and a lot has happened since just before 10 when you arrived there this morning.
Yeah, we're here where Marcos Lopez's Denali is still sitting here behind me. It took just minutes from him to go inside this building to the Lake County Jail. We know that because we were here when it all happened. HSI investigators tonight making it clear that no one is above the law. Marcos Lopez walked into this federal building this morning, but just minutes later, stripped of his gun and his badge, put in handcuffs and read his rights, asking agents what this was all about. What it was about was a months-long investigation for racketeering. Today, he was arrested and booked in the Lake County Jail. According to HSI, the investigation started in 2023. The allegations that Marcos Lopez was involved in a massive gambling operation, one that was up and running here in Central Florida, not only in Osceola County, but also in Lake County. It's also one that brought in more than $20 million. Investigators saying it all started after Lopez took office in 2020. The gambling operations were allowed to set up illegally and run in his county, all in exchange for cash.
And I would guess to say that a good amount of this illegal gambling money went into bribery and God knows what else for him to win re-election as the Osceola County Sheriff. I personally believe that that is a big part of his re-election.
Investigators writing, quote, Sheriff Lopez played a multifaceted role in expanding and protecting this illegal enterprise while using his office to shield the enterprise from law enforcement. He was immediately suspended by the governor, as others were also arrested. But this could be just the beginning. Investigators telling us more warrants are being served and more arrests could be coming. Now, we were told that Marcos Lopez did not make a statement inside, which we could figure that out just as quickly as this happened. Like 3 or 4 minutes, he walked inside and was taken quickly by car to the Lake County Jail. We are told, though, there are more, quote, targets in this investigation. It's not clear if they are witnesses or they will be arrested, but it is clear this investigation is long from over.
I have to ask myself, I've been asking myself this most of today. Is there anyone else in his department in Osceola County, in the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, that was a part of this illegal gambling operation. Because if that's the case, they're coming after them too. So they were probably wanting to crap their pants today.
And Shannon, you were able to break this story after years of investigating this sheriff and his office.
Yeah, we first got a tip on this story probably about 6 months ago. We have tried since then to kind of work this situation to try to figure out just how many people were involved. As you know, the sheriff has had controversies before at that department. So we were trying to weed through exactly what may or may not have happened here. But today, those rumors came to be true as the sheriff was arrested here in Lake County, again, under investigation now for racketeering charges. Martha.
A major story in our community.
Martha, now the suspended sheriff is not the only one implicated in this case. As you heard Shannon mention, there are four other alleged accomplices here. Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb is learning more about the people identified by the Attorney General's office.
On the club's TikTok, you can see Eclipse Social Club repeatedly promoting gambling. The social media page calls the establishment a casino with a lot, fish tables, and computer games with daily promotions. You can see the wall of the building lined with at least 20 video slots and other gaming machines. But according to the court documents, this is where the five, including Sheriff Marcos Lopez, was involved in racketeering, an illegal gambling operation. According to the state business record, Sheldon Witherholt was the manager of this social club. Ying Zhang, who also goes by Kate, is listed. Witherholt, Zhang, and Marcos Lopez are accused of keeping the gambling house, unlawfully having slot machines, and setting up or promoting a lottery. State prosecutors say Sheriff Lopez and Ying Zhang were also involved with money laundering, so disguising the money collected from this illegal gambling operation. Two other women are listed in court documents as employees or agents of this operation, including Sharon Frederick and Carol Coate. Ashlyn Webb, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
We received this statement from State Attorney General James Othmeyer saying this is a solemn day for Florida and our law enforcement community. We put great trust in our constitutional officers, especially those who are our community's first line of defense. However, the law must be applied equally, regardless of position, power, or branch of government.
Wow. I'll tell you what. He decided to ruin his entire career and life. For what? For gambling? Slot machines? But I think it's deeper. I really, really do. So those four, there's four that have been arrested, apparently as of this evening. There's no other mugshots that have been so far released except for Coate, which you saw briefly there on the screen. Again, I think this is going to go much deeper. Much deeper.
Right now, the former sheriff is locked up at the Lake County Jail and will appear in court later this month. This isn't the first time he's made headlines. He's been involved in several scandals. Channel 9's Sabrina Majore live at the Lake County Jail right now. And Sabrina, he is not the ordinary inmate there.
Yeah, Martha, because of his status, the Lake County Sheriff's Office says he's likely being held in a part of the jail away from other inmates. But like every other inmate today, he was fingerprinted and photographed. Information about his arrest also transferred online as part of that booking process.
No one is above the law.
Osceola County's top law enforcement officer could now face up to 30 years in prison. The now former sheriff will enter his plea for racketeering and conspiracy to commit charges during an arraignment on June 30th.
No matter if you are the lowliest criminal or a high-profile sheriff, everybody receives the same due process in the criminal justice system.
Marcos Lopez first joined the Osceola County Sheriff's Office in 2003 while still serving in the Navy Reserve, and went on to work various law enforcement roles, including patrol and criminal investigations, before he was elected sheriff.
So help me God. Congratulations.
He made history at the swearing-in ceremony back in 2021, becoming the first Hispanic sheriff in the state of Florida. But his tenure wasn't without controversy. Lopez claimed to have accidentally posted a photo of 13-year-old Maddie Soto's body to his personal Instagram page less than 24 hours after the missing teen was found dead in the woods. Following FDLE's review of the incident, Lopez was added to the Brady list.
I have never seen where the top law enforcement professional was on that list.
The Brady list tracks officers who could be a problem if they testify in court because of bias, misconduct, or dishonest behavior in their past.
I'll tell you what, even before all this, I was pretty vocal about that he was not to be trusted, and I think he belonged on that Brady list. And now, well, the Brady list doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, he's behind bars right now, and he's in a lot of deep doo-doo. I mean, for real. The guy, it's just sad that a law enforcement officer and the now former sheriff would put it all on the line for this. Again, I back the blue here. I always do. But just like the attorney stated, the attorney general, it is about following the law. You're not above the law just because you wear a badge.
And right now, Lopez does not have bond. Attorneys tell us that is not uncommon given the seriousness of these charges. Reporting live in Lake County, I'm Sabrina Majore, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
We are learning more about the newly appointed Osceola County Sheriff Chris Blackman.
Yeah, Blackman is the chief of the Central Division for the Florida Department of Highway and now appointed sheriff as his career spans 3 decades in law enforcement. Channel 9 Scott Martin continues our live team coverage outside of the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. And Scott, Blackman spoke briefly just moments ago.
Darlene, yeah, was the first reporter just to speak with him as he walked out of the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. And I'm going to step out of the way. He's right back here getting ready to speak with us some more here in just a moment. But I asked him exactly, how was he doing? And he just said, things could be better. So we'll get some more remarks from him in just a moment. But I did learn that he has started here as a trooper in 1990. That's when his career began. He worked here in Troop D as a DUI trooper, then a sergeant, lieutenant, and captain, all within Troop D. That includes Osceola County here. Here's some video of him walking into the Osceola County Sheriff's Office today after being appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis. I talked with a former public information officer of FHP, Kim Montez, and she worked with now Sheriff Blackman and says that he was promoted to a major and moved to Tallahassee, but came back to Orlando a few years ago as a troop commander before being promoted to Central Region Chief. Now he's appointed sheriff, and she says that he knows this area well.
He was also the captain over Osceola, so he is very familiar with the agencies, the people within the agencies that work that area, because he worked that area for so long as a supervisor.
And again, he just walked out and said he would be speaking with us. So we're going to go chat with him and see some of the remarks that he has to say and have that coming up later on WFTV tonight at 10.
So I hope that this guy, FHP, 35 years of law enforcement experience. I hope this gentleman to Osceola County, I hope that he can help clean up the county. Kissimmee Osceola needs a lot of work. And not just the county, but the city. Of course, he's not going to be in charge of the city of Kissimmee. That's Kissimmee Police Department. But considering that there was just a whole other internal investigation and issues in 2024 with the Kissimmee Police Department and the former chief resigning, I tell you what, Osceola County, well, they're looking like they're in a lot of trouble with their leadership in the law enforcement arena. So I am anxious to see what this newly appointed sheriff, Mr. Sheriff Blackman, does. They do not have a statement on this. I will pull that up for the next video because I do plan to cover it here on the channel. This is definitely a breaking story here in Central Florida. And let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments. And again, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.